Yo, once again, it's on. Back at you one more again, Real Kens TV in the house like kitchen sinks. Hopefully you like the video. Feel free to comment, definitely share, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and be sure to hit that post notification. So anytime I bring you this action and this heat, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive. Now, with no further ado, let's get into this evening's video, if you will. 10:21 p.m. Tuesday evening rather. And I was watching Hustler Spirit 502. If y'all not familiar with Fleece Johnson, Hustler Spirit 502, go check them out. You know what I mean? They from the turf, Louisville, Kentucky. And this is a reaction video in regards to Fleece Johnson. And he was basically talking about, and if you're not familiar with Fleece Johnson, Google him. Most people are, but if you're not, simply Google. And you'll be very familiar with him rather quickly, if you will. So, this is a reaction video because he has stated something to the effect of, well, actually, it's not to the effect. He blatantly said. So let's rewind. Because I just messed that whole thing up. I'm not editing at the moment. So let's just... Fleece Johnson had stated that in penitentiary, when a fight occurs, a lot of times someone gets severely injured, if not killed. Because when you fight someone in prison, every single time you fight somebody, guess what? You're sending a message. You're sending a message to the next person. If you try me, this is what's going to happen. I get messages, emails, rather, on a consistent basis about Fleece Johnson. I've never met Fleece Johnson, as I've stated. I've been in contact through, I guess, messaging, if you will, with Big Lee over at Hustle Spirit 502. Like I said, they're in Louisville, Kentucky. I'm in Lexington, Kentucky. 80 miles apart. Big Lee shows a lot of support, a lot of love to my channel. So shouts out to Big Lee. But I get a lot of questions as far as Fleece Johnson. I guess people have kind of, correlated the two, if you will, and put two and two together. Understand that we're both from Kentucky, so they ask me, have I ever served time with Fleece? Have I ever, do I know Fleece? Fleece Johnson is much older than me. So no, I've never served time with Fleece Johnson. So the same stories that you all hear, I hear. Now, I have a little bit more insight because I'm in the same state, so I've actually spoken with individuals that have done time with Fleece Johnson, per se. The thing about the stories that Fleece tells, I believe every single story that he tells. They're all very, very accurate. Does he exaggerate a little bit? I don't know. I mean, I guess we all have to exaggerate a little bit. I mean, this is YouTube. It has to be some form of entertainment, right? No one gets on here and just tells the story 100% per se without adding a little bit of, oomph to it. Just my opinion. But Fleece tells a whole lot of stories, and I believe, once again, I believe that they're very, very accurate stories. I can tell you that him saying that, especially back when he was locked up, I can believe that when you fought back then, depending on who you fought, it may be to the death. At least in your mind, it may, you feel like you got to severely hurt this individual so that you don't have to worry about this individual coming back to retaliate. Now, for you all that didn't see the interview, Fleece was basically just saying, he was giving an example of when he fought an individual that he felt as though he couldn't whoop. He felt as though this guy would get the best of him because in prison, And I would imagine, I was never locked up in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. But I would imagine that back then, there wasn't nearly as much to do to occupy your time as there is now. Now you have classes, you have programs, they make you work now. In most prisons in Kentucky, you have to have a job. If you don't have a job, they'll send you to a restricted dorm. Or you may be in a situation where no one's sending you any sort of money. So if you don't have a job, guess what? You don't have any income coming in at all. Well, a lot of people say, okay, well, why would I work for $30 a month? Hey, when that $30 hits that account every month, that allows you to go buy your deodorant. Penitentiaries don't supply you deodorant. They'll give you some state soap. And the reason I say state soap is a soap that they make at the facility or it's made at another facility. They'll provide you with some state toothpaste, which is garbage. You better off not even brushing your teeth than using that. State shampoo, state shaving cream. They'll provide you with razors. That's pretty much what in toilet paper. That's what they pretty much supply you with. If you don't have deodorant, guess what? You just don't have deodorant. They're not going to give it to you. Which I think is very, very messed up. But at the same time, that's what it is. So when you receive that $30 state pay every month, you get your state pay every month on the same day. So it may be the 15th of every month. Whatever the 15th falls on, or it may be the third Wednesday or the third Friday of every month. Whatever day the third Wednesday or the third Friday falls on, that money hits that account. You go to the commissary. The commissary line is going to be, you may stand in the commissary line for 3-4 hours, especially back then, because everybody's money's hit. You see what I'm saying? So everybody's like the first of the month. Everybody got money. So you're in the commissary line for a long time. So if you're in the commissary line, now I'm painting a picture for you all that's never been to prison, which is a great, great thing. So I just want you all to vibe with me, ride with me, just sit back, relax, kick back or whatever, because it's gonna be a lengthy video. Not too long, but I must keep it real and let you all know exactly how prison is. You go to your commissary. You have to get your deodorant. That's a must. Well, back in Fleece Day, I'm going to just speak as far as the last time that I was in prison. You got to you can get you a roll-on deodorant. The generic roll-on, it might cost you $2.69. Or you may get you a degree that's going to cost you $5.69. $4.69 rather. But when you get the degree deodorant, it's beautiful if that's what you decide to get, rather. But it's not a lot. It's not like you get the tall ones that you get at Kroger. No, you're going to get the half-size ones. You see what I'm saying? So you may say, okay, I can finagle my way through. I got to get me, I still have a little deodorant from last month left. So I'll get me a deodorant, a tall one. That's $5 out of the 30 that they pay you for working 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. 5 of that 30 is gone. Got to get you some toothpaste. That's going to hit you for another $4. So now that's $9. So at least you have toothpaste and you have deodorant. The state soap, it's cool, but I want that Irish Spring. I want that. So you get you a few bars of let's say 2 bars of Irish Spring. That's $2. So now you're at $11. So when I say $2, $1 piece. So you're at $11. You have $19 left. So you got your hygiene straight. You're not worried about shaving cream and shampoo and all that. You got your hygiene straight. So it's like, all right, I got to eat. Get you a box of noodles, 24 noodles. 24 noodles may cost you $12. That leaves you $7. You got $7 left to last you an entire month. Like to drink coffee, get you a bag of coffee for yourself. It's gonna be $3.50, the Keefe coffee. It ain't like you getting Maxwell House or anything like that. You know, you're gonna have to get the Keefe coffee that they sell. And you may get you another bag and say, okay, I'm gonna hustle this bag. So when you say, well, how you hustle coffee? Basically, you just get you a bag of coffee, get you a spoonful. So every time you sell a spoonful of coffee, you charge somebody, you know, a noodle, 50 cents. That's how you hustle in prison, because you don't have actual money, so you hustle. So that $3.50 that you spend on that Keefe coffee is gonna bring you back about $7-8 in noodles. You see what I'm saying? So you just grind your way to where you're able to survive in prison. After all, no one's sending you any money. No one is looking out for you. No one is, and not saying that anyone is obligated to do those things. We put ourselves in prison. No one makes us go to prison. So when we're in there, if people send us money or we happen to have our own money or whatever, we're blessed. That's a blessed situation. So Fleece just went on to kind of, you know, tell exactly how things go when you're incarcerated. Now, Fleece wasn't just locked up in a regular prison. No, he was locked up in at the time, the most notorious prison in the state of Kentucky, Eddyville State Prison. Look it up. The home of Death Row. That's where Death Row's at. Eddyville State Penitentiary was a place you did not want to go at the time in the 70s, 80s, 90s, where Fleece Johnson was being housed at. So these stories that he tells, and the fact that he did 40 years and made it out unscathed, if you will, it says a lot. It says a whole lot. So when you're dealing with all these different elements of prison, the homosexuality, the correction officers that's racist, talking crazy to you, calling you the N-word, calling you gangs. I mean, just the different cliques that come along with prisons, the skinheads, the Aryan Nation, the Mexicans, the Bloods, Crips. When you're dealing with all of these elements, it gets very, very, very dangerous. See, a lot of us, we get caught up, we watch Fleece, and it's like, oh man, he's funny, man. Because he is a funny guy. But at one point, he was a dangerous guy. I'm not saying he's not dangerous now, but at one point, Fleece Johnson was very, very dangerous, respectfully. Y'all seen the NBC interview? Y'all seen he wasn't no joke? Why do you think that they pinpointed him? Out of all the inmates, why do y'all think that they pinpointed, if you will, focused on Fleece Johnson? Fleece was not a joke. When he said, if I want you, we'll have you. And when he told the reporter, I would have grabbed your butt. He said something to the effect, if you was in here, you know, X amount of years ago, I would have grabbed your butt and dared you to say something. That's what he meant. That doesn't mean he's a predator. That doesn't mean that he was a rapist. It just meant, man, you get it how you live when you're in prison. I don't condone it. I never acted like that. Never hung with anyone that acted like that. But at the same time, at that particular moment in time, Fleece stated, I never thought that I was going to get out. So while a lot of this is true, I said what the people behind the cameras wanted me to say. A lot of these things I didn't actually mean or do or whatever, but this is what the people behind the cameras, this is what they wanted. I don't know if they, gave him anything. I don't know if he received anything. I don't know. It's not my business. But I'm simply here to tell you that prison is dangerous, man. If you out here on these streets, man, don't think that you're going to get stripes for going to prison. Don't think that, I need to go to prison, man, just to No, stay out here with your family, with your loved ones. I preach that all the time. Yeah, I preach that. Stay out here with your loved ones, with your family. People that really care something about you. Because in prison, man, nobody gives a damn about you when you're in there. So the violence that takes place, if you will, in prison, astronomical. Happens every day. Every single day, violence takes place. So as a result of all the things that I've told you, it's kind of like a big pot of gumbo. You throw them all into one pot and voila. Guess what it equals? Violence. Definitely does. So when Fleece talks about how individuals get into fights in prison, and it's one of those things to where I got to show everyone else that I'm not to be played with. He means that. Perfect example. Because there is a message. I was at the Rotary Farm. Now, the Rotary Farm is a place that when they send you to prison, you don't just go straight to prison. You go to the Rotary Farm is a prison within a prison. Now, the reason that I say that is that you start off in the county jail. You get your time. Judge issues you your time or whatever. Once you get your time, you sit in the county jail and you just wait and you wait and you wait. And then one morning at about, 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, they'll say, hey, real kids, pack it up. B&B. B&B, we all we got. So they hit you with the B&B. When you hear B&B, that means you out. Everything that you have, guess what? You must give away. Now, you can opt to, if you opt to take it with you, that's fine too, but you're going to lose it. So all the deodorant, all the hygiene, all the noodles, the sausages, the food, the clothing, the thermals, all these things in jail is very, very important. You already designate who you're going to give it to, your homies or whatever, because once you get to that Rotary Farm, they're not allowing you to take anything in other than some pictures, a cup, a bowl, some stamped envelopes, and that's about it. Now, the stamped envelopes is vital because that it's money once you arrive at the Rotary Farm, because you can sell the stamped envelopes for the things that you need, such as deodorant, soap, things of that nature. So you want to try to collect as many stamped envelopes as you possibly can. Now, this was then. Things have changed now, but I know that you still can't take anything in at the Rotary Farm. So when you get to the Rotary Farm, you go in, you sit there for a while, they go through your property, make sure that you don't have anything that you're not supposed to have. If you have any clothing, because you're coming from the county jail, so whatever you had on when you were arrested, guess what? It goes to the Rotary Farm with you. When you get to the Rotary Farm, you may have some Jordans. I remember one time when I got there, I had some J's. I had a Fat Farm coat. It was like a $400-some coat. I didn't know I was going to get arrested that day. I had on some nice jeans. I had on nice clothing. Okay, what do you want to do with this? You want to donate it? You can donate it, in which the COs is going to go through it, and whatever they want to take home for themselves or to their family, they will. And the rest, they'll actually donate. Or you can opt to send it home. Well, if you send it home, the postage is going to cost you so much money. So unless you have a lot of money, it's just like, man, if I send this home, I'm in the hole $50. So whenever my family or loved ones send me money, if they send me $50, it's gone. If they send me 100, 50 of it is gone. So it just depends. A lot of people, they send their stuff home. Some people opt not to send it home. Me, I sent mine home. So you go through that process. They make you take a shower. You're in the shower with 5 or 6 dudes you've never seen in your life in most cases. You don't have any flip-flops or shower shoes on. So you're standing on that nasty floor. You have to take a shower. They spray you down with the spray, whatever that is. You got to lift your sack and lift your arms. And it's officers walking through, female officers walking through, people just walking through as you're in the shower as though, there's a wall, but it's maybe 3 feet high. And you're just in there just naked. Run your hands through your hair. It's crazy. Once you get done with that process, you sit there, and then they assign you a dorm. They give you your bag, what you're going to have, your bedroll, your toilet paper, your razors, your state toothpaste that we talked about, your state soap. Then you go into your dorm. You're going to go into a dorm to where it's lions, tigers, and bears. So they'll say H56. H56 means H dorm, bed 56. So you walk in H dorm. When you first walk in, a bunch of people is going to say, oh, there he is. Oh, get him. That's the dude we seen on the news. Oh, there he is. Let's get him. We going to get him. They do that just to test your mental, see what your character's at. See where your character's at. You know what I mean? Because nobody in prison, they don't want a soft-ass dude in a dorm because they know he going to tell some shit, and they not going to allow that. So you walk in, you take all of that, blah, blah, blah. You find your bed. You go in, you put your bed, your bed spread and things of that nature. Once you get your bed situated, you spray your bed down. You go get you some, they got disinfect bottles and stuff like that. See, people that's never been to prison, they don't know that. But the people that's been to prison, you spray your bed down, wipe it down, make sure everything's everything. Then you kind of just peek the scene, walk around the dorm or whatever. So that's what the Rotary Farm is. When you go to the Rotary Farm, you get processed. A couple days later, they're going to assign you a caseworker. You go to the caseworker. They're going to determine what your custody level is. If you're going to a maximum security, medium security, a camp, things of that nature. So you basically just sit there until a bed is open at the place to where you was assigned to go. Now in Kentucky, the prisons are they're crazy. So if you're going to like a medium or a max or something like that, you may be at their Rotary Farm 4, 5, 6 months. Now if you're going somewhere like to a camp or something like that, man, you might be there 2 months, then you out. In a dorm all day long, 50, 60 people. No, 50 to 100 people. And you're just in the dorm. Now, let me take that back. Because that's like let's do the rewind again. Not 50 to 100 people. In a dorm to where they house 100 people. So you're in one dorm all day long. You get 1 hour of rec. You got about maybe 2 or 3 phones. You have 4 or 5 toilets. You have a shower that holds about 6 people. They put little board games, stuff like that in there. You have a television that you can't change the channel on. The COs have to change the channel for you. So you have to make do in this dorm that you're in. So at any rate, you're in there or whatever, and there was a particular situation that I seen. You have to imagine they don't separate anyone. So you may be in there for checks. You may be in there for some child support, but for whatever reason, they have you going to prison. And you're in there with a guy that got 50 years or a life sentence. They don't separate you. A felon is a felon. It's the way they look at it. Sad, but definitely true. So I seen one time, I was at medical. I say all of that to say this. I was at medical. And because they often call you to medical, because when you go to medical, they're going to blood test you. They're going to make you urinalysis. They want to know everything that's coming in the prisons, the Department of Corrections. So I was at medical, and I seen a dude. It was 2 dudes, and they was kind of like walking towards each other. But there was one dude, he was the aggressor. He was, angry. So the other dude's like, what's up, man? You know what I'm saying? The other dude, he's woofing. Whoa, whoa, whoa. He gorilla beat. Whoa. He's going through his thing. You want me? So the other dude's like, bro, chill out, man. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to fight, or if you want to talk it out, if you want to, man, there's other ways to do it. But, you just doing this, like, right here in the open. You see what I'm saying? He trying to reason with him. Dude just kept running it. And the dude that was running it apparently had a long sentence. like 35 years at 85%. 35 years at 85% means you do 85% of your time before you have an opportunity to go home. So he's the aggressor. The other guy's like, man, just calm down, man. You know what I'm saying? It's not even that deep. Ran up on the dude that, the calm dude. Man, the calm dude kicked that man in the chest like Chuck Norris. Whoosh. Kicked him, and when he kicked him, that's what you heard. Whoosh. He flew back like whoosh. So he flies back, right? No exaggeration. The dude, the calm dude, he knows how to fight. So when he kicked him, he's on him. Boom, 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 boom. Like he's on him, like steps forward quickly. As like Mike Tyson, the old Mike Tyson videos, and he's bobbing and weaving, and he's, you know, coming forward. That's how the dude was. So when he kicks him, he goes all the way back, hits the wall. The calm dude, now it's on. You see what I'm saying? Shoot, it's up. Once it's up, guess what? It's stuck. So he catches him, hits him. I don't know how many times he hit him. I'd be lying to sit up here and say, oh, he hit him 4 or 5 times. I don't know. It was a lot of times. And when he was hitting him, it was flush. Bow, 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 bow. Dude knew how to fight. He didn't have a clue dude knew how to fight. So dude was like, all right, man, come on, man, it's over. Nah, it ain't over now. Dude that came out of his shirt, the calm dude, he came out of his shirt, because a lot of times in prison, when you fight, anytime, you know, you get in a fight, most time you come out of your shirt, so they can't grab you by your shirt or grab your hair. Sometimes they can grab your hair if you got long hair, but, you know, grab you by your shirt, then they can kind of control. He came out of his shirt, you couldn't grab him, whatever. Dude never even came out of his shirt. So he got him up against the wall. Remember I said he kicked him? Whoosh, kicks him, hits the wall. Bam, hits the wall. So he's on him. Bam, 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 bam. I mean, I'm talking about when he's hitting him, he's connecting like no other. He's not just hitting him where the dude's covering up and he's flush, like boom, 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 boom. You know, he's really, really connecting. Dude is out of it. I'm right there at medical. I'm like, what in the heck? So he's hitting the dude. Dude is out on his feet. Out on his feet. Now remember, Fleece Johnson said this. In prison, a lot of times dudes fight to the death. If they don't fight to the death, they trying to severely hurt you so that the next individual will see this and be like, man, don't run up on him, because if you do, this is what could potentially happen to you. So the dude's out. The dude that started it, he's out. The other guy has him by his shirt. As I stated previously, he didn't even take his shirt off. So he has him by his shirt. And he's just connecting. I'm talking about he's hitting the dude, hitting him. Then what was so crazy, when he got tired hitting him with one hand, he would take his other hand, grab him by the shirt, and start hitting him again with the other hand. Dude was out, knocked out. I mean, all the way like unconscious. But every time he hit him, not every time, but if he hit him a couple times, dude would wake up, hit him again. Boom! I mean, it was one of the most gruesome things I've ever seen in my life. Finally, he let him go. The dude kind of like slid down the wall. After he slid down the wall, guess what? In prison, they give you these boots. They call them state boots. Bob Barker. You know what I mean? Bob Barker was a big, I don't know, a lot of the boots and materials that are provided to you in prison, they're Bob Barkers in Kentucky. I guess it's Bob Barker from The Price is Right. I don't know. I know it was Bob Barker. So anyway, you got these state boots, they black boots, and that's what you have to wear when you're in prison, or at least while you're at the processing center, which in Kentucky, once again, is called the Rotary Farm. Dude's out. He didn't stomp dude. I mean, he didn't beat dude to death. It's blood. Now, all of this, it seems like it would take a long time, but it didn't. You see what I'm saying? So at this point, the correction officers, no one showed up yet. Dude kind of slides down the wall. He lets him go. So as he slides down the wall, like he was just sitting there, like his head was up against the wall like this. He's out. He's like this. Dude backs up. He probably takes 4 or 5 steps backwards. They trying to tell him like, bruh, let it go, man, let it go. Hey, you want some of this? You remember out on Friday? Who else wants some of Depot? Huh? Who else wants some of Depot? I promise you, that's how it was, man. No. Left him alone. Dude takes off running. Now, like I said, he probably only took 4, 5, 6 steps backwards. Somewhere right around in that range. Don't quote me. A lot of times people say, oh, man, well, you said this, you said that. Listen, my videos are rough, rugged, and raw, unedited, but I don't remember everything to the precise, you know what I mean, precisely what happened. It was years ago. But at the major scheme of things, it is what it is, and I'm definitely telling the truth. Dude backs up, kind of takes a running start. Boom! Kicks him right in his face. Boom! Head bounces off the wall. Hits him. Bow, 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 bow. Backs up again. Same thing. Boom! He didn't know. Dude knew how to use his legs. He had a whole lot of leg power. Remember when I said earlier? Initially, when the dude ran up on him, he kicks him in the chest. Boom! Dude knew how to use his legs. Kicks him for the second time. Well, theoretically, it would be the third time. But the second time while dude was laying down with his head up against the wall. Grabs him by the back of his hair. Bam! 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 Hits him, I don't know, probably a good 10 times. And he's talking to him. Bitch, if you ever disrespect me. And I mean, he's hitting him, he's kneeing him. Man, it was the worst beating I've ever seen in my life. Dude could have died. I don't know if dude died or not, because I never heard anything. I tell you what, they flew him out of there. When you get flown out, that means the helicopter arrives and they flying you to the local hospital. He got flown out of there. And I seen it all. Now, it took me a while to tell the story because I wanted to paint a picture and I had to let you all know all the intricacies and the details and things of that nature. All of this happened probably within a matter of, I don't know, minute and a half, 2 minutes. Beat the brakes. When I say the brakes, oh my God. Beat the brakes off a dude. Dangerous, man. So when Fleece Johnson tells you all, or when he tells his fans, or when he tells just anyone that's listening that prison is dangerous, you may want to listen. That dude got man, he got stomped. He didn't get stomped, he got stizomped. He got stizomped. Now, I don't want to see anyone go through anything like that. But it's prison. What are you going to do? And it's crazy because the guy that tried to stop him was his partner. And he told him, hey, bro, you want some of this? You ain't got nothing to do with it. Do you want some of this? Beat him down, beat you down. It was. Worst beating I've ever seen. I've seen a couple beats. I haven't seen, a lot of people get on here and they act as though, because it's for views, it's for entertainment. And maybe that's why my views are not as much as others, I'd say. But I'm going to keep it real. And this was the worst beatings that I've ever seen. Like I said, dude was already out. He backs up and runs towards him and kicks him in the face. Bam! Right here. All up in here. Head hits the wall. Bounces off the wall. Does it again. The same scenario. And then grabs him by the back of the head and proceeds to beat him with his fist and talks crazy to him. Blood everywhere. Bitch, I told you. Ever try me like that again? And everything he's saying, bitch, dick. It's type of things that you're going to see in prison if you opt to go to prison. Because the reason I say opt to go, police don't just knock on your door. Hey, your name came up, it's time to go to prison. No. 9.99 times out of 10, once you go to prison, you did some shit. I know every time I went to prison, I did. I've never been to prison to where I was not guilty. Now, I've been overcharged. Charges have been exaggerated, but as far as like, I've done something. And that holds true for the majority of other individuals too. Typically, the police, they get it right, in a sense. You go to prison, man, you just go to prison. So what you gonna do when you get in there? You a man or you a mouse? You can't be no mouse in prison. You got to be a man. And even being a man, man, you get dealt with. Big Hurt. Big Hurt always says over at Fresh Out Prison series. If y'all not familiar with him, go check out Big Hurt. He always talks about people getting their wig split in prison. I don't say wig split on my channel. I say getting your noodle pushed all the way backwards, but it's all the same. That dude, it was beyond that to the 10th power. That dude, like, the dude had no remorse. That was beating him, he had no remorse. None. You gotta know how to fight. You have to know how to protect yourself, because my partner used to always tell me he was a vice lord. Rest in peace. He was a vice lord. I'm not a vice lord. I'm not in any sort of games, but we were good friends. He was a vice lord. He always told me, when you get into a fight, you need to know how to fight, because you don't want to become that man's, what do you call it? I don't necessarily want to say you don't want to be at that man's mercy, if you will. You don't want to be in a situation where he decides when enough is enough. He can kill you. Even if he's not trying to kill you, he can kill you. If you out, just think about it. If you out and you have a person, they heavy-handed, or just period, you're out, and they're hitting you in your face consistently, you have no way to cover up, at least block, man, it's going to be severe damage done. Severe. Now, I contemplated on telling this story because I don't want people to I don't want anyone to be grossed out or anything like that, but it is what it is, a prison channel, man. It's not exclusively a prison channel, but we talk about the things that happen in prison, and man, that right there was terrible. And of course, I failed to mention the police, they finally came. That was kind of inevitable. They finally, seen it on the cameras or whatever, and the code 7s or whatever the code is, and they rush in and, put your hands up. And, they come in with their hands, they got their flashlights and tasers, and, they really act like they're really police. But that particular time, hey, I was glad to see them come. I'm not even gonna lie, I was glad to see them come, man, because I didn't know this individual. Only thing I knew was this wasn't even cool. Like, I wasn't even trying to look. Matter of fact, I walked away. I didn't even want to be around the situation. See, a lot of times when you're around it, now you're a witness and they're going to call you in. So I'm seeing it. I'm walking away, but I'm still seeing it. You see what I'm saying? Because you got to go through gates. They got to buzz you in, buzz you out. You can't just walk anywhere you want to walk when you're in prison, especially when you're at the assessment center or the Rotary Farm in our case. So I had no choice but to see it. So I'm looking, but I'm acting like I'm not seeing it, because they're going to look on camera to see who's looking at what. And then next thing you know, some people got a problem with you, because they're going to say, oh, man, you brought attention to the situation by just simply looking. So I'm like, no, not me, my friend. Hey, but I seen it, and that dude got, man, I don't know. I'd like to know what happened to both individuals. I have a clue. Never judge a book by its cover, because the dude that beat the brakes off dude like that, I mean, he wasn't no hellified size dude. You see what I'm saying? He was probably, thinking back, put my memory cap. You know how in school they used to tell me, put your memory cap on. They used to tell you that in school. That's what they used to tell us anyway. He was probably 5'10", 170 pounds maybe. The dude that he beat the brakes off of was probably about the same height. He was bigger though. He was probably about 200 pounds, 210. Cut up dude, real cut up. Tell you, do a whole lot of push-ups and sit-ups and dips and, things of that magnitude. But them dips and push-ups and you know, crunches and all that. Didn't help him that day. They rolled him out there. And I'm quite sure at the time, once the medical and all that came, they had locked everybody down and locked the yard down. So we was in our dorms. I'm quite sure that he got definitely know that the helicopter came in. So they carried him out of there in a stretcher, man. So it's multiple messages within this message. Don't go to prison. Don't disrespect people. Don't feel as though, because you're bigger or, you feel like you have the upper hand. A motherfucker will beat your ass, man. Excuse my language, but guess what? I'm tired of being, I'ma just keep it real. Motherfucker will beat your ass, man. You see what I'm saying? In real life, it don't just happen, it doesn't just happen like in prison. Somebody will hurt you, man. Be cordial to people. Be kind. If somebody cuts you over cuts you off rather in traffic, or if someone takes your parking space, man, it ain't even worth it, man. Let it go. Let it, because you never know what that person has, and you never know what that person knows. A motherfucker will fuck you up, man. Real talk. Over something that you could have easily just said, you know what? I want to get home to my family. Let's let that go. So it all comes back to what Fleece Johnson was saying. He was telling a story about he got into it with a dude. As I mentioned earlier, the dude, he felt like, was going to beat him up or was tougher than him. So Fleece used his mind and he ended up getting out on the dude first. He ended up catching the dude before the dude could catch him. But the message, prison is dangerous, man. Life is dangerous, but prison is very, very dangerous. You're around people that's miserable. You're around individuals that's never going home. You might have a 5-year sentence. This guy got 105 years. He don't want to hear you griping and crying about your little 5-year sentence, or your girl not answering the phone, or you not getting any mail, or you ain't get your money order for that particular day. Back then it was money orders. Man, they don't want to hear that. Misery loves company. And in prison, you'll definitely see that. See my shirt? University of Kentucky, UK Wildcats. Man, in prison, in Kentucky, when the University of Kentucky Wildcats play the University of Louisville Cardinals, man, you better not be in there talking shit. You better just watch the game, cheer for, your team or whatever team you cheering for. If you in there, man, F Kentucky or F Louisville, man, you might get your wig split for that. Different rules, man. Different things that you say out here, you can't go in there with that. You would die. You understand? Die. And if you don't die, you're not going to the infirmary, you're going to the hospital. Airlift. Reconstructive surgery all up in here. Hospital for months. Yeah, you protect yourself in prison. You make sure you can do anything and everything you can possibly do. But it's not a game. It's not a game. People laugh at these prison channels and they like the content and hey, I'm begging you. I'm imploring. I'm please don't go to prison. You catch your wife cheating and as hurt as you are, or women that catch their husband cheating, walk away. Walk away. Times get hard, you don't have no money, you want to sell some drugs, or you got somebody that, you can, get at or whatever, and, to get on your feet, and don't do it. Just go get another job. Your car's broke down, you can't get to work, man. Walk to work, or if it's too far, get you a bike, or catch you an Uber, or whatever you need to do. Catch the bus, rather. You don't have no money, you can't catch an Uber. Uber's high as hell. So, basically what I'm saying is, do not do anything that will jeopardize your freedom and send you to prison. Because once you go to prison, it's a whole different element. I'm telling you, it's a whole different element. I got stories for days about prison. I just don't always tell them all. Because, to be honest, I get tired of talking about prison. I'm not in prison, been out for several years. I'm so far removed from that, but I still remember, and I still want to put this content out there and these stories so that other individuals that are thinking that, I can do this and get away with it and it's not going to be that, and it's, man, you go to prison, man, and see dudes that you haven't seen in 18, 19, 20 years. And they've been doing time the whole entire time. They didn't kill somebody, shot somebody, or whatever. It's just not the place to be, man. Do the right thing. Stay out here in society. Pay your taxes. Get your credit up. Start your business. Yeah, it's hard for a felon. It definitely is. But guess what, man? It's harder on the inside. Real Kens TV. Hopefully you liked the video. Feel free to comment. Definitely share. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And be sure to hit that post notification. So anytime I bring you this action, this heat, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive it. I know the video was a little lengthy. Some people like my longer videos because they're driving to and from work, or they're on a trip, or they're trying to sleep at night, or whatever the case may be. But hey, I got to keep it real. So sometimes it may be a 15-minute video, sometimes it may be an hour, sometimes it may be 2 hours. I don't know. Some days chicken, some days feathers. But you live. Real Kens TV, man. Salute. Till next time.